very, very good afternoon to everyone. I have spent almost 20 years in the beverage industry, with 12 years with Coke and 7 years with PepsiCo. And some of the things which we are talking today, I will not just limit my subject to sustainability of packaging, but let me take you through a journey of what have been the issues on beverages in the last 3 decades as I see. And why I'm telling you this historical perspective is because it's very important to understand that is consumerism and convenience anti-sustainability? Ask yourself that question. Because at the end, as the consumerism has gone up, convenience has gone up, the issues of sustainability have arisen on ingredients, on packaging, on distribution. And that, if you want a responsible world, you will have to address this as the new businesses come and start their journey. So that is one big lesson. The other thing which I think about, is I used to be the head of front office and public relations at the Meridian Hotel in Delhi way back in 1988. And the owner used to own the Campa-Cola factory, the erstwhile Coca-Cola bottler. And whenever I would go to the Campa-Cola factory in Connaught Place, I would see how the bottles in Connaught Place, the returnable glass bottles, were brought back, washed, because there was only a night shift which would be working at that time. And in the morning, the same bottle would be back in the market. I don't know how many rotations that bottle went through. But the fact was, what a beautiful way was to, fill in the RGB, which is returnable glass bottle, and back to the consumer. So that was way back in 1988. And what has happened, what has transpired in the last 32 years? Because when the journey started, and I joined Pepsi way back in 1995, the first thing was that most of the plants will be returnable glass. 75% of investment went in RGB. Only 25% was in PET. And then came the era of multinationals coming in the bottled water, which was the need of the hour. And I had a very interesting boss by the name of Suman Sinha, who was the nephew of Jayaprakash Narayan, and he said, Deepak, I'm fearing some people coming and asking, why are you in water? You better start putting the answers together. Hard questions, not very easy. Why? Because in India, the price of the water had never been determined, and that price of the water had to be determined before you took the next steps. You take a municipal resource, you pay price for the water, you filter it, you package it, and you sell it. But the problem came when in India, you had groundwater. And you were using groundwater, which the stress was hardly abysmal. And these are the questions which every person in the industry, in the beverage industry, had to ask at that time. So I I joined Airtel, I launched Airtel across India, and then I came back with a mission in Coke way back in 2005, where we said, okay, we will bring back every drop of water which we put in our beverages, and we will do systems, we will use the 3 R's: reduce, recycle, recharge. And we will put 100% of water back. It was, initially, we thought it was to counter those allegations, but no. It had to be the philosophy ingrained in the company, because there was something which was lurking in the environment which needed to be addressed. And I'm so glad that I was a part of that journey. And some of my old colleagues are sitting here, and I can recount that journey with that passion, with that energy. that at that time we had promised to do the right things, and all of us in the family of Coke, we decided that we will work hard and make sure that the recharge, which is not within the bottling plants, but in the communities also, will be counted as a part of the recharge of the water. So what did we do? And then suddenly, one of our sustainability days, we had now the governor of Pondicherry, what's her name? Mrs. Bedi, Kiran Bedi. So she asked me a question, a pertinent question way back in 2009. Deepak, why are you just charging only 100%? Why not 10 times? And the fact was, it set me to think that we as an industry have to build taller targets, because responsibility has to be there in the industry as far as this ingredient went as a part of sustainability. The second question which we were wondering, was that, Maaza will be a $1 billion brand in the country. Maaza, how many of you have drunk Maaza? I'm sure. Everyone? Please raise your hands. Okay. So Maaza was a favorite brand, a mango juice. But we realized that the most important raw material, the totapuriyam, will, if we do not take steps to grow its sustainably, you may not have those ingredients and mango pulp for the future. So we started a beautiful project way back in 2007 called Unnati. It's about, almost 4 times or 3 times the production in 1 acre, because the trees, it's called the HDPE, and it's an agricultural innovation done by Jain Irrigation and others, where we started to grow mangoes sustainably for our Maaza brand. Because we knew that there is a problem coming. So here is, 2 ingredients I have covered: fruits, water. Amit has just talked about most critical one, which is lurking on our mind, which is waste, plastic waste. Before that, I even handled water waste, which was another big issue which happened with us. So the question is, this journey of responsibility has been very, very exciting. I mean, I was probably called the chief storyteller of Coke, because I was telling what we did right, and we told it with the passion and heart to the whole world. This is the way to grow. So today, when Coca-Cola starts a circular economy in fruits, it makes me feel proud. I left Coke about 3 years back, but the fact is, this is the way to go. My last point, which is there, is on sustainability, is that if packaging has become a crisis at this time because of the intervention of plastics, what is it we can do? So, can I put the slides?
This one.
Yeah, sorry. So, so all the slides with intelligence quotient you saw in the morning, lots of talk, lots of intelligence information, but I'm a guy who works with EQ and coalitions. I'm a person who has to work with people all across. So I've been involved in the formation of the following, whether it's Solar Industry Association, I formed it about 1 year back. IBA, about 10 years back, I took the initiative. Action Alliance on Recycling Cartons for Tetra Pak and other related cartons. We started it 3 years back. Again, being an ex-Levers guy, involved in the Levers Soaps and Toiletry Maker Association. We also decided that sugar will be a major issue. So all the Food and Beverage Alliance, which was actually started by Unilever, they took my help to make India Pledge a reality. And then I still remember coming down to Bombay to meet my friends who make PET in Reliance, at least 10 visits, and how PET Packaging Association for Clean Environment was started 5 years back. Now these are some, and then of course, I worked with the International Spirits and Wine Association of India as well, currently, and we're doing a responsible drinking project. Now these coalitions are only possible when responsibility is the big starting point of discussion with all the members. If it is not, they will never become a reality. And that is where our point of discussion here is today. And I'll give you an example of a couple of associations or alliances. Now, this is what we did on water. I just told you the journey on water. And this happened because 800 structures were made. People were shown what the Coca-Cola company could do within and outside the bottling plant. Now, the entire story would have been untold if we had not done this project, which was for water recharge and sanitation, which we did with about 100 partners. I think this was the best coalition we had, which we called Support My School. Started by Coke, but it became a project of everyone. It became the project for, Pearson's for libraries. It became a project for Luminous for, their inverters. It became a project for many other foundations like World Vision, etc., who all put in their money. And what Coke did its best was, it is the best storyteller. So we hired Sachin Tendulkar to tell the story in the next 3 years about sustainability and Support My School. And the need of the hour today on packaging, we need a similar coalition, pan-India level, which needs to do every aspect of sustainability, whether it's beverages or it is on all the other packaged commodities. Now, this is something which we came with at that time, pace. I'm sure a lot has been talked about it. But the fact was, there were so many litigations on plastics at that time that you needed one body to just fight those litigations, because it just happened that the glass body was accusing the plastic or the PET body that this has overtaken and hurt our business. But the fact was, PACE has done a tremendous job in ensuring collection, in ensuring recycling, which was, but again, why has PET done well? Because it has an economic value. The day the petrol prices fall to, say, $30, will the PET recycling be as effective? Answer is, companies will have to chip in with some funding, because it will not be so viable, which when the petrol rate is at about $50 a barrel or $60 a barrel, that is more sustainable, right, Amit? So this is one point I would just like to add. And I'm so proud to present today that as consortia, we were able to put together in last 2 years an alliance for recycling cartons. Now, all of you know how the Tetra Pak carton is. It has got almost 75% paper, it's got some plastic and maybe 5% metal. But the point is, what do you do if the recycling of that is not like PET? But there was a method of removing the paper, and all the three components. So we decided that first, the need of the hour is to put all the brands together and the producer and start on a journey and tell the story about what can be done when all the brands come together. And I'm so glad that, during this last 2-year journey, so much of active engagement in putting EPR and many other facets of, recycling and waste collection together. So we have reached somewhere, but a lot to do. It's just the beginning of the journey. Now, but what is important is, whenever you start a coalition for the industry, I think it is important to understand that you have to understand the other members' concern. You have to, for creation of an alliance, you need to bend somewhere and, accommodate the other person. You need to understand the landscape of the, and data collection and coalition collection is very, very important. Most important is the stakeholder mapping. And that, I think, was a very, very critical aspect of the alliance. So if you really look at it from policy development and at the state level, in 2 years' time, this alliance has done its work. I mean, it's my colleague who heads this organization with my co-founder of Consortia. He is virtually every week he is in some other or the other state because, EPR framework is being made. We are trying to tell our story and what we want to do, how we want to do, and how the segregation of the cartons will also be done. So I think this is our favorite slide, and Dr. Darshani. So this is, we used to practice it in Atlanta, and this was when the business, government, and society, the golden triangle comes together, things start working your way. So it means that producers, importers, brand owners, associations, alliances, and the state level bodies which are there, that's one part which is the business. And the other part, which is the government bodies, municipal corporations, municipal bodies, Ministry of Environment, CPCB, etc. And the third most important pillar is the NGOs, my friend. NGOs, Waste Management Enterprise. These are the three strong pillars which will define the sustainability, overall sustainability in society, and not only beverages. But this, I thought, was a very important triangle to look and discuss. I could go on for hours together, but I believe my two other presenters have some wonderful ideas to present to you. So here I am. I will take all the questions at the end of the session. Thank you.